Apparently, we have one brain, but it's controlled by two systems, and the two systems, as you might expect, are in conflict. The oldest part of our brain likes to work fast, and in many cases, still responsible for our survival. In the old days, when you saw a leopard coming at you, you didn't have time to think about what was happening. You needed to start running immediately. The old brain operates on impulse, and because it does, our ancestors survived. The newer part of our brain thinks about what's going on and evaluates possible responses. It is in charge of self-control. The new brain can follow rules, analyze options, and make intelligent choices. The old brain can't. The old brain believes everything. The new brain constantly questions everything it hears. When someone wants someone else to believe something that is not true, they direct their message to the old brain, and their greatest weapon is repetition. Repetition is so effective because the old brain has trouble distinguishing between what is true and what is familiar. If it's familiar, it feels right, it feels honest, it feels believable, even though it's a total lie. And if the media or the leaders of a community repeat a lie often enough, for most people, it will become the truth. There, in essence, is the core of many of the world's problems. There's an old story about a famous samurai warrior going to a Buddhist monk and asking the monk to teach him the difference between heaven and hell. And the monk says, "I have no time to talk to a samurai fool." And the samurai goes ballistic. And he says, "Monk, I will kill you for that insult." And the monk says, "Samurai, now you're in hell." And the samurai gets it. He's lost his center and his self-control, which is the very essence of being a samurai. He apologizes and he thanks the monk for the teaching. And the monk says, "Samurai, now you are in heaven. Anger is hell. Inner peace and self-control is heaven." Every once in a while, someone comes along who devotes his or her time to talking to our thinking brain and suggests that it get its act together.
To understand the human body, we must know its structure in terms of the cells that make it up.
Linus Pauling spent most of his career studying the structure of molecules. He was well known for his work with vitamin C and its ability to protect against the common cold. In 1946, he changed his focus.
The time has come when we have to rid the world of the great immorality of war.
He took an intense interest in the effects of nuclear fallout and the damage it caused, not just to people who were exposed, but to all future generations. He waged a constant campaign against war and its use of nuclear weapons. He promoted the banning of nuclear weapons, and in his book, No More War, he presented the reasons for abandoning war itself.
We will protect our children from want and from fear.
Some of the people who speak for peace are virtually unknown to the general public. Lema Bowie is a Liberian peace activist responsible for leading a women's peace movement that helped to bring an end to the Second Liberian Civil War in 2003. In 2011, she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for her nonviolent struggle on behalf of the safety of women and for women's right to full participation in peace-building work. Some of the people who speak for peace started organizations that changed the world. In the summer of 1859, Jean-Henri Dunant, a Swiss businessman, arrived in Italy during the Battle of Solferino. He saw 40,000 men dying because after the battle ended, there was no form of medical attention. When he returned to his home in Geneva, he began developing a permanent relief society. His idea led to the formation of the International Committee for the Relief of the Wounded, which eventually became the International Red Cross. In 1901, he received the first Nobel Peace Prize.